Mark Berman, the Roanoke Times. For Taylor and Liz, I'm sure you grew up watching the Final Four on TV. Given that, what is it like to actually now have arrived here?
It's pretty surreal to be here, but I think Coach says it's one thing to be here and it's another thing to be in the tournament, and so it's a blessing. It's still a little bit of a fever dream, and just trying to take it all in, but it's definitely really fun, and I'm happy to be here.
Yeah, it's really cool because I think, growing up, or even like the last few years in college, like we would have our season and then it would come to an end too soon, and then I would enjoy watching the rest of the games. But now, we're in those games, and I couldn't be more happy about that. And I'm just so excited that I get to play with these guys for a little bit longer.
Michael Cobble, WBRZ TV in Baton Rouge. This is for Elizabeth. Just the matchup, obviously down low, is going to get a lot of attention. What do you see in LSU's posts and LaDeja and Angel and the challenge they present?
They're really athletic. They can rebound a lot. We just know that we're going to have to be, physical and strong down there and not let them get too many second chance opportunities, because they'll definitely take advantage of that. But yeah, we just have to play to our strengths also.
Jermaine Farrell, WFXR in Roanoke. First of all, ladies, Coach, great seeing y'all down here in Big D. This is for the ladies up on the stage. I got to ask you, now obviously, locally we know how great you are and what y'all do, but what's it like finally to get this national attention? And obviously Taylor showing off that great hat, that's got to be cool because you bring in the swag. But, what's it like to get this national recognition and attention y'all definitely deserve?
Can we start with Georgia, please?
Yeah, it's really good for the program, what we've been striving for. Coach Brooks has done a really good job inheriting the program and building it up to this, and obviously this is probably one of the greatest things a team can achieve, right? Being in the Final Four, aside from winning the whole thing. But yeah, it's really surreal, really great for the program, and it's good that Virginia Tech is getting some noise.
And Taylor?
Yeah, I'll just piggyback on that. I'm proud of the team, of Coach Brooks, the vision that he's had, and I think it all started obviously in the locker room and making sure we all believed in the goals and what we were going to accomplish, and honestly trying to block out the noise, whether you're with us or against us. It's not really going to change what we do, but at the same time, it does still feel good to be on the stage and have people recognize you for the hard work that we've been putting in all season.
And Elizabeth?
I agree. That was good.
Hey, this is Chris Heidel from Hermiton Radio in Baltimore. Congratulations, ladies, making it to the Final Four. This is for the players. What is it like being representing the Commonwealth of Virginia and also representing the ACC as well?
If we could start with Elizabeth.
I'm not from Virginia originally, but the last 4 years that I've had there, I've just had a real connection with the community there, in Blacksburg especially. It's just a really special place, and Hokie Nation is incredible. So I'm just so happy to be able to represent that population, and it's cool to get somewhere where the program hasn't been before, and I'm just really glad that I'm doing it in a Hokies uniform.
And Taylor?
Yeah, no, it's been awesome. I've had people back on campus that work with Downing Hall Services texting, saying the whole campus is behind us, and it's a great feeling because I feel like we're just kind of having fun and doing our job, but to know that people are genuinely looking up to us is awesome. And the same thing with people in the ACC, other teams are saying bring it home for the conference, and so it's fun, it's awesome, and yeah.
Yeah, I was just going to say a few of the ACC girls that we play against all year round have reached out to me, and I know a lot of the other girls too, so it's pretty cool to see, those girls getting behind you. It obviously goes to show how great connection the ACC has and how it's prepared us for this.
Alexa Philpott, ESPN, for the players. Each of you, I know, had different experiences deciding to go to Virginia Tech, but what was it about Coach's vision specifically that made you realize this is, something that I want to get on board with? What was that? You can sell a vision, but for us, not being in the room, what did that look like? And I know for you, for Georgia and Elizabeth being here, getting recruited out of high school versus Taylor coming in as a transfer, if you could each kind of answer what that looked like.
My story was definitely a little different because I was international and I never met Coach Brooks in person until I was in his office pretty much committing. So I think he obviously did a really good job recruiting, selling the vision online. And obviously I had a lot of other coaches recruiting me and I just didn't really feel that connection or that vibe. And Coach Brooks is always just so genuine. Him and his staff, his whole coaching staff, had that vision. And I could just tell that it was a family. And for me to come all the way over here, I had to have that. So a huge part of that was just the family feeling and like the vision that came along with it. Sitting in his office, I committed on spot, so he sold it pretty well.
I think for me, it wasn't even when we talked like on a Zoom that he sold it to me. I think it was like just over the 4 years of getting to talk to him just after competition when I was at Boston College. And you get a vibe, you get an energy from somebody in how you interact. And it was always genuine. There was always a lot of respect there. So then when it came down to him recruiting me to come to Virginia Tech, it was like, okay, I hear what you're saying. I see who you have on the team. And I've liked you as a competitor so far. And so it was a pretty easy decision for me.
I committed like 5 years ago now, which is crazy, but that was after Coach Brooks had a couple seasons and I could already see the improvement that he'd made. And I just knew that he had a vision, not just for the success of the basketball program, but also the culture. And I felt like I could help out with that. So, yeah, it worked out pretty well.
David Cunningham, Tech Sideline. Taylor, this is for you. You mentioned blocking out the noise and making sure everybody in the locker room believes about the vision. Through the ups and downs this year, what do you think has been the key to you guys as a whole? Just staying focused and locked in and, even when people are saying whatever about you, being able to block out that noise. Is it the experience? Is it the fact that everybody's connected? What do you think it is in your mind?
I think it's a mix of a whole lot of things. I think it starts with having great people on the team, and I credit Coach Brooks for recruiting not just great basketball players, but great people who I can confide in and look at them. And I think we all have the same goal and this insane desire to win. And just have each other's backs. And I think Liz has touched on it a whole bunch. We're just having fun with each other. And so why let outside noise that isn't going to change the outcome of a win or a loss distract you from those goals? And so it's been great being locked in, being motivated with this team. And I think it does go to show how mature this group is. And so it's great.
Chris Rim, the New York Times. For Georgia and Liz, I know you talked some about this, but how did your friendship blossom, ahead of the season, and how has it translated to the on-the-court play for y'all and, chemistry?
Yeah, I think when I first got here, I had no friends and no one really. But I think that I always said that Liz's relationship with Raven, she's so caring and she's learned to, be passionate and empathetic and all of the above towards people and their situations. So she just really reached out to me and helped me get comfortable with Virginia Tech and America. I was not comfortable with America. And then, COVID hit and I lived with her. And even though it was only 2 months? I can't even remember how long it was. 4? Okay. Well, that's what I'm saying. It didn't even feel like that because it was just I just got accepted into a home that was so comforting and welcoming. So I would say COVID definitely helped with that.
It was kind of by force because she just, got immersed in all my family issues and whatever. She was just surrounded by it, so she had to learn me really well. And then in turn, I think, she felt more comfortable confiding in me. So I think that just helped us get really close. And then translating onto basketball, we just have that special relationship, and we spend so much time together. And Coach Brooks also helps us learn each other on the basketball floor, so that just translates into games.
Yeah, Mitchell Northam for the win. Georgia, I saw on Twitter that your parents are going to come to this game. Have they ever gotten a chance to see you play live in person in a Virginia Tech uniform? When was the last time, and how awesome is it to have them here?
Yeah, so they both, my whole family, so my brother, sister, mum and dad came over last year. So they saw about 4 or 5 games, and then this year my mum came over, just herself. I wasn't expecting them to come to the tournament, but they landed yesterday. And mum was like, "Did you have any idea that we would come?" I was like, "No." To be honest, no, because it's like a 16-hour flight direct. But they got here, and I'm very happy that they get to experience this, because this is a whole different level than, like our home games are great, but oh my gosh, this stage is like incredible. So I'm very happy that they get to experience it too.
Cheryl Coward, hoopfeed.com. Along those lines, you got to play in the arena where Australia's greatest basketball player played in her career. What was that like, and what kind of motivation did that give you? And have you heard from any of the Australian stars and legends in your run up here?
Yeah, when I first walked in, I saw her jersey hanging. That was a pretty surreal moment. But, we won the game against Ohio State, and she DM'd me, which was pretty cool. She reached out to me. And, Sammy Whitcomb also plays for them, and she reached out to me. So it's pretty cool to, have that support back from home, specifically, too, from the Seattle girls, obviously just from where we played those games. But it's been very, very cool.
David Teal from the Richmond Times-Dispatch, Georgia. Coach Brooks mentioned the other day that in the bubble in San Antonio 2 years ago after the Baylor game, Coach Mulkey said to him, "Behind your mask, you should be smiling because I see potential in your team." That result notwithstanding, did that game teach you all anything? What were your emotions after that game, and did you think it was an encouraging moment, the result aside?
Yeah, obviously learned a lot from that game. I remember walking up to the presser, and Didi Richards walked past me, and she fist bumped me and said, "Good job, baby girl." I was shaking, fist bumping her. I was like, oh my gosh, this is not real. But, just to see like that Baylor team was incredible. And to play against them, it taught us a lot. They were a mature group. They were a confident group. And I think, it's translated now because I think we're mature and confident. And we're playing on this stage that they did. So, it's been a journey, but I'm very happy to be a part of it.
We're going to take our final 2 questions for the student athletes.
Georgia, again, this is for Georgia. Just, you talked about the Australian. LSU has last tier Poe on her team. Are you familiar with each other? Did you play against each other? Any stories you could share?
Yeah, so we're both from Victoria. She's from the metro, so the city. I'm from the country. So we played against each other all juniors. We even went over to India together as part of the national team. So I'm very familiar with LT. Great family. Her mom is so cute. And I'm so proud of her because, she went to JUCO, she came up, landed at LSU, and I'm so proud of her because she's stuck through it, and it's paying off for her.
For any of you, I think, Liz, before the Ohio State game, you had said, hey, this game's going to boil down to whether we handle the Ohio State press or not. What do you feel like tomorrow's game is going to boil down to?
Taylor, let's have you answer that.
It's definitely going to be rebounding and just being the tougher team, making sure that we're not playing back on our heels, just running our offense. And I think I said it the other day, there's nothing that we have to do that's going to be different than what we've done to get us here. It's just going to be playing confident, playing together, playing smart, limiting second chance opportunities, and the rest will work itself out.
Georgia, is this right that you grew up playing Australian rules football, cricket, and taekwondo against boys?
Yeah, and swimming and track and netball, yeah, everything.
Did you feel like that helped you kind of develop a toughness that you've been able to bring into your college basketball career?
Yeah, when I used to play football, I used to be really fast, and boys would grab my ponytail to stop me. So I've definitely learned a lot from that. But in terms of toughness, football is purely about tackling and dodging all of those instances. So definitely helped me be tough. Definitely taught me that when I get hit, get up, test it out, and then go out if you're really hurt.
Thank you, ladies. At this time, we'll take